Hello, how's it going? I'm really glad you're here because today we're going to dive deeper into something that is often mentioned, but not always fully understood: software quality. And here's a key idea from the start. Quality is not defined by the team, it's defined by the client. Quality is really a perception. It's the point where three things meet: what the client wanted, what the team understood, and what was actually delivered. If the user is satisfied and the product works in their real life, then we can say there is quality. If not, something went wrong along the way. And that journey starts long before code. Quality is not built at the end through testing. It is built from the very beginning, starting with analysis. If you don't clearly understand what quality means for the client from the start, it's almost impossible to achieve it later. That's why quality is not only about the product, it's also about the process. From requirements, design, development, testing, to maintenance and release. Every phase directly impacts the final outcome. And here's another critical element: documentation. Standards like IEEE define quality as the degree to which a system meets requirements and user needs. But if those requirements are unclear or poorly documented, it creates a chain reaction: miscommunication, wrong decisions, and a product that doesn't deliver. Now, here's something that completely changes how you approach testing. Testing does not start when code exists. It starts during analysis. Even when you don't have all the information, you can compare, research, benchmark, and start building a clear idea of what a good product should look like. And this is where two commonly confused concepts come in: verification and validation. Verification happens throughout the process. It's about checking at every stage that what's being built matches what the client requested. Validation happens at the end. It's about confirming that the final product truly meets the user's needs. One is continuous, the other is the final checkpoint. It's also important to understand how systems are built. First, you have a high-level design where you define the general idea, like an e-commerce platform with a catalog and user login. Then comes the detailed design, where you define how data flows, what infrastructure is used, and how components interact. And after that, development, integration, and testing. Now, let's talk about something that will really help you as a QA naming problems correctly. Not everything is just a bug. There are important differences. An anomaly is something unusual, not always reproducible. A defect is a problem you can reproduce consistently under the same conditions. A failure is caused by the environment, not the software itself, like losing internet connection. And an error is human. It can come from the user or the development team. A wrong decision, incorrect input, or misunderstanding. Understanding these differences completely changes how you analyze issues, because not all problems should be treated the same way. And here's something important: many defects don't originate in the code. They originate from human error. Poor communication, misinterpreted requirements, lack of preparation, distractions. All of these eventually become visible issues in the system. That's why a good QA doesn't just find defects, they work to prevent them at the source. And that requires developing key skills: communication with stakeholders, requirements analysis, early test design, clear documentation, critical thinking. And something very powerful: learning to benchmark other products to understand what good really looks like. Now let me leave you with a quick challenge. Think about an app or website you use every day. Is there something that doesn't feel right? Something that doesn't work as expected? Observe it, capture evidence, and start analyzing it like a QA, because that's where you truly begin to develop this mindset. And that's what this journey is about: not just learning testing, but learning to think differently. See you in the next video.